started with a window seat and a borrowed charger. That's the first thing I remember. I wasn't looking for anyone. Not really. My job as a freelance copywriter kept me busy enough, tucked away in small cafes around the city, bouncing between cappuccinos and client deadlines. Life was quiet, intentional, and lonely. I used to tell myself that loneliness was a kind of discipline, that not chasing anything too hard made me mature. It wasn't until I met Daniel that I realized I'd confused comfort for contentment. It was a rainy Tuesday when I saw him. I was at my usual spot, Café Fern, this little place with cracked tile floors and the best chai latte on the east side of town. The seat by the window had become my unspoken territory. I liked watching people pass, imagining the lives behind their umbrellas. That day, the outlet near my seat was broken. I was hunched over, trying to stretch my charger under the next table, when I heard a voice. "You can borrow mine if you want." He had a smile that came with it, not the kind that demands anything, just soft and knowing. His laptop was open, a sticker-covered mess of a machine that looked like it had stories of its own. "Thanks," I said, maybe too quickly. Our hands brushed as he handed over the charger, and something flickered in me, brief and warm. We didn't talk again that day, but I noticed him noticing me, and I left before he did on purpose. I didn't want to ruin the quiet with the awkward. The next time I saw him, it was the same seat, different weather. This time he was there first. "Guess I beat you to it," he grinned. "I'll allow it." That was the start. We didn't leap into anything. It was small things, nods, shared outlets, eventual introductions. His name was Daniel. He was a photographer, or trying to be. His day job was in logistics, whatever that meant. We talked about work, then about art, then about fear. Daniel had this way of asking questions that made you forget you were answering. He didn't pry, he invited. And so, piece by piece, I found myself offering stories I hadn't said aloud in years. We started sitting together, then walking together, then texting about stupid things at midnight like why almond croissants were overrated. It felt easy, not forced or urgent, just present. But the ease made me nervous. I'd spent so long building a life around not needing anyone that the idea of letting someone in felt reckless. My last relationship had ended in silence, a kind that echoes longer than any argument ever could. Daniel wasn't pushy, but he wasn't passive either. He noticed when I pulled away and gave space without letting me drift. One night, after a gallery opening, he dragged me to. We stood outside under a string of dim lights. "You always disappear when things get real," he said. Not angry, just honest. I looked at him, the way his hands were stuffed in his jacket pockets, the way he avoided eye contact because he knew I might. "I'm just scared I'll need this too much." He nodded. "And what if you do?" I didn't answer. He didn't ask again. A week passed before I saw him again, not because we planned it, but because I finally walked back into Café Fern and he was there. Same seat, same sticker-covered laptop. He looked up and smiled like no time had passed. "Didn't think you'd come back," he said, sliding my favorite pastry across the table. I didn't either. We didn't talk about that night. We just sat there, drinking chai, watching the rain. Over time, I stopped disappearing. I let myself need things, not just him, but mornings, routines, little rituals like sharing a croissant or walking in silence. It wasn't grand or cinematic. It was ordinary in the most extraordinary way. Daniel taught me that intimacy isn't about fireworks. It's about showing up, even when it's uncomfortable, especially then. Months later, I found myself reaching for his hand as naturally as I reached for my pen. We were in the same window seat, our lives still separate but no longer distant. And I realized I wasn't afraid of needing someone anymore. I was just afraid I might have never tried. Sometimes love doesn't arrive with a bang. Sometimes it's just a charger, a smile, and the courage to sit down beside someone again and again. And that's what makes it real.